Hey there! It's time to take a look at the Studio Tyranids. Now, these have gone through a couple of incarnations. The first one was Oceanic Tyranids, but the teal obviously was a miserable failure, as we know. And then it went to Aqua Nids, and now I'm calling them the Mesa Nids, as you will see. So here's what I managed over the weekend, and let's just go piece by piece here. Got 6 Raveners and a Trigon. This has got quite a bit of really nice slate work on his base, like he's burst up from underneath the ground. This is a new model released with this edition of Tyranids called Hiveguard, and we're getting a lot of orders for these, and they are great in the game. They are toughness 6, and I believe armor say 4 up. And toughness 6 is important because that means they can't be insta-killed. And so Hiveguard have that rare quality where they do something good, but they also have a good amount of toughness to them. Oh, and they have ballistic skill 4. So it's pretty awesome. And the model looks really cool. This is our answer to the Harpy. Now, I've changed the body pose. You can't really tell here, but I've changed the body pose so the tail isn't so close to the ground. It looks like it's flying along at a more clipper pace. So I think I've already talked about the conversion work on this. It's got a custom tail. These are Balrog wings, but the front talons have been changed so that they are in line with Tyranid structure. And underneath here, you've got, we used one of the Carnifex plates. I don't know if you can see it there, where it has like the spore launcher holes there. So for all of its equipment, all the weapons that it has the appropriate thing modeled actually on the figure. Hey, now let's talk about the color scheme. Now this is a little different than what I normally do, because usually I'm a huge fan of pale skin and a dark carapace, and in this case I really ended up with a dark, almost brick red, especially on these, a brick red skin, and the colors for the skin are Hull Red by Vallejo and Khaki, and it's a Privateer Press, a brown ink wash. And the thing about Privateer Press brown is that it's actually kind of a purple color. So now on the Trigon, I actually made the bottom portion of the skin very light and made it almost purpley. And I made a custom glaze out of Vallejo Gore Red, what is it, dark Prussian blue. So red and blue make purple, and that's a hard thing to pull off. But on the back side, again, you'll see the brick red and the khaki. And it's straight khaki on the ends of the talons. So that's the narrative there. Anything super hard is that khaki color. And what else? The carapace is foul green, which is actually a very light and airy green. I've heard it called park green before in other ranges, and I'm a huge fan of that. And actually, after painting these, I realized that I had gone back to an old standby. Many years ago, I did a Tomb King's army in burgundy and park green, and that turned out really good. Normally, red and green is pretty unsightly, but if you skew them just a little bit and choose a different area of the spectrum, they can work quite nicely. So, you know, for me, the jury's out on whether this worked or not, but I'm kind of stuck now, and this is about 800 points into 2,000 points. Just one other thing I wanted to point out is, well, 2 other things. One, I did these little liver spots on the wings of the Harpy, and I'm really pleased with how those turned out. Those are not khaki. That's actually a color called Middlestone, which is a tad more yellowish. You'll also notice in the vents along the back, I didn't put black in there. In fact, there's no black as a darkened color. It's only a dark purplish brick red is the closest it gets. And this is a Vallejo Gory red in here, with just a little bit of brown ink to give it sort of a liquid effect. And oh yeah, the other colors, what you see is red, like here on these stranglethorn cannons, is actually cavalry brown, which is one of my favorite organic looking reds from the Vallejo range, and that's also used on their tongues. I have a little bit of flesh color on this little eye on the side of their gun. So anyway, there they are, what I'm calling the Mesa Nids. We'll see if that actually sticks. Oh, and their bases ended up matching this terrain just about perfectly. All of these models have some kind of slate work on them that's more or less extensive depending on the size of the figure. And definitely pleased with how those turned out. You can see them across the board. The green carapace, it's a little iffy. It might just be a little too bright, even though I've toned it down with some earthy colors. But we'll see how it looks as a whole army. So hope you've enjoyed and got your inspiration for the day.